I was just reading NFL.com's review of Tyler Goodson.
What they say?
Um, it's hit and miss.
Yeah.
Overall, runner has average size and athleticism, below average toughness. Um, he doesn't create good for himself. He ran a heavy zone run scheme, but lacks vision and decisiveness.
What's up, Tom? Tom in the building. What's going on? Yeah, and you know what? I would agree with that. I mean, I don't think that he's going to turn any heads per se until you get him in training camp and see that he's a Swiss Army knife. Because he can do a lot of things for you. He can go out there and play wide receiver easily and probably be your best wide receiver.
Okay.
So, Hood, what's going on?
So there's a strengths and weaknesses category.
I got you. I mean, like I said, he was only in college for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another part of it there. I'm glad y'all here, Hood. We're going to talk about Tyler Goodson some tonight. I know that weather is bad out there. Yeah, Mo and Felicia's boy.
Yeah, you said Tyler Goodson's son.
Oh, my bad. I thought I said we were going to talk about Tyler Goodson.
I heard Tyler Goodson's son.
Oh, yeah. No, I said Tyler Goodson. I don't know why you hearing the echo, Travis.
Yeah, I'm getting a really bad echo.
Yeah. Yeah, Taylor is going somewhere in Iowa. I think to a JUCO or something. Tom said he's hearing you echo, Travis.
What about now? Yeah, I can still hear it.
Well, it's better than nothing because I couldn't hear you at all earlier.
I know. Once Miss Carey gets on, I'll get off.
Hey, there she is. Miss Carey in the building. I'm so glad to see you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Miss Carey? Miss Carey, can you hear me? Can you hear? Miss Carey can't hear, Travis. Everybody else can hear me. We can't hear you, Miss Carey. We can't hear you.
Oh, I hear you now.
There you go. Travis is on the ones and twos trying to get it where he can make everybody hear everybody.
Really? I can hear you.
Well, good. Because we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got to talk about your boy Calvin Ridley. I don't know what you did to him. Can you hear me, Miss Carey? Travis, she's falling in and out. Tom said hello, Miss Carey.
Not me.
Can you hear now?
I can, but it's buffering.
I don't know. Travis is trying to figure it out back there. Tom and Miss Hood giving their little hellos to each other. Hey, Miss Hood, how you doing? Travis took Miss Carey out. Miss Peavy, hey, Miss Peavy. Miss Peavy in the building. Where's OJ? I need OJ tonight. Unless you're gonna represent the Falcons, I need OJ. I need somebody to talk to me about Calvin Ridley. I don't know what y'all did to Ridley. I don't know what happened to Ridley. Oh, he's working. Oh well, you gonna have to pull out your Falcon hat then, Miss Peavy, and defend your player. It may have been. You might be right about that. It may have been. May have had something to do with that. I hadn't seen that reported, but you might have something there, Miss Peavy. You might have some insider information. Travis, go ahead and start the show. Start the music, and then text Miss Karen and see if she can get back in. There you go.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and J, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey yo, let's get it poppin'.
There she is. Miss Karen, can you hear me? You back in the building now.
You should turn the volume.
Uh-oh.
I can't get it. You can't get it on your other one. Hi, Coach.
I sort of hear you. I sort of kind of hear you. But now I see your screen freezing again.
Back on completely.
Yeah, I hear you, Miss Peavy. I hear you.
It's weird.
Well, we're going to try to roll through this thing. Welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live. Once again, you see the Imperial Palace up here on Black Mania. Miss Kara's trying to get it together, trying to see if she can
Still buffering?
get this thing on. Travis on the ones and twos in the background. Travis might have to come join me here in a few minutes if we can't get Miss Carey. And I don't know if Travis is up either, because he and I were having some problems before the show started. But we're gonna go ahead and try to get started here.
You're not there. Looks like you're live.
You wrong for that. You wrong for that, Miss Peavy. See how y'all are? That's just wrong. Talking about I gave Karen my dial-up connection when I upgraded. That's wrong right there. Anyway, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Big news today. Russell Wilson headed to the Broncos from the Seahawks. I, for one, if you had told me that this was going to happen, I'd have told you no way. I didn't think there was any way in the world that would happen to Russell Wilson.
Unstable.
Uh-oh.
Internet connection.
Travis, you might have to take her off so we can get through the show. So, can you hear me, Travis?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to take Miss Carey off for a second till she can get right, because she can't hear what's going on. But I was shocked to hear about the trade. I'm not sure what they got in return. I'm not sure what the Seahawks got in return. I'd be very interested in knowing if they got any kind of picks or whatever they got. Jason said he can hear Carrie, but he said she just has an echo. So I don't know what's going on, but we can't. I don't know why we can't get her, Travis. Miss Carrie, can you hear me? Yeah, she still can't hear me. It doesn't look like. So, but in any event, like I said, Russell Wilson is now with the Denver Broncos. You think it's a total rebuild, Matt? I don't know if you're gonna do a total rebuild, do you keep the same coach? That would be my concern there. If they're gonna go through a total rebuild, why don't they start with a coach and GM? I think that would be to me the way you start off. Why are you gonna bring in a whole new regime under the same coach? I think you got to get a new coach. And Jason and I talked about this earlier. I don't know that. I think Pete Carroll probably has worn out his welcome in Seattle, in my opinion. Miss Carrie, can you hear me now? Are we good?
I can. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now. I still see that blue screen in your glasses too. I know that's your little trademark now. You like putting in that blue screen. Yeah, there you go. Look at you. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. Hey, look at you. Ooh, look at there. Wow, I get to see you like Chris Paul gets to see you now. That's what I'm talking about.
Stop.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. How you doing, Miss Carrie?
I'm well. I'm well.
How was your
rested.
trip? How was your trip?
Phenomenal.
I bet it was. I mean, you know, as luck would have it, of course, Chris Paul seemed to be out about the same amount of time you were gone. I mean, I just
Right,
like, you know,
right.
that's just how luck works like that sometimes. But
That's how it works.
I hear you. Miss Carey, what do you think about Russell Wilson going to the Denver Broncos today?
I think
Surprise?
Russell Wilson has a lot to prove.
He has a lot to prove.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like he wasn't at his best in Seattle, right? Now, was it Seattle's team? Or was it Russell Wilson that was actually falling? So we'll see what he does in Denver.
Now see this why y'all kill me right here. This how y'all kill me. Russell Wilson been around for a minute. I mean, he been around for a good amount of time. And for all that he's done, taking Seattle to the Super Bowl, didn't win, I know, all that. But nonetheless, you get that far, you've done that much, and now y'all still like he got something to prove. But wait a minute, but you'll anoint Joe Burrow. Joe ain't been in the league, doggone. He ain't even got his damn pension money yet. You got to be in the league 5 years to get pension. He ain't even close to damn that. And y'all about to anoint him. Travis got him in damn top 5 quarterbacks in the league. I mean, act like he ain't got nothing to prove. All y'all got to do is just get him an offensive line and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's all y'all already talking about. Why is that? How does Russell Wilson have something to prove?
Recency bias. There's no other way to put it. As of what have you done for me lately? And he hasn't done much. So for me, I don't put Joe Burrow in the top 5 quarterbacks. No, I don't. But he certainly had a better season in leading a team than Russell Wilson did.
But I mean, the thing about it is Russell Wilson has the same problem that Burrow has. I mean, Russell Wilson don't have a good offensive line. I mean, Russell Wilson's running back, Chris Carson, was out for a large part of the season with an injury. I mean, they didn't really have a running game at all. So everybody knew they were going to be throwing. Everybody knew who they were going to be throwing it to. That big old sleeve stack out there. Number 14, what's his name? It'll come to me in a second. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Old big boy out there. And I mean, everybody, so they double team him. And I mean, it's hard to get the ball to anybody. So Russell Wilson is not like he has a whole bunch of tools. I think their defense suffered this year a little bit more. Yeah, DK Metcalf. Thank you, Ray. DK Metcalf was out there, and everybody knew that was his main guy. So I mean, he didn't have any tools, in my opinion, and he still had a pretty respectable season, you know, by NFL standards anyway. So
Okay.
I just
Joe Burrow didn't have it either. Joe Burrow didn't have a top offensive line, a top defense, I mean, he had all the same tools, and he took his team further. So if you're comparing last year's performance, not overall career performance, but last year's performance, then obviously the outcomes show that Joe Burrow's team was here and Russell's team was at home. So yes, he has more to prove.
I know, but you know what? You know something else that Joe Burrow didn't have? He didn't have a body of work. That's my whole thing. That joke ain't got no body of work where you can look back on and say, if Russell Wilson retired now, you say, you know what? Looking back over his career, he was a pretty damn good quarterback when you look back over his career. Because he'd been in the league probably about, I don't know, maybe 8 years now, somewhere around that time frame, somewhere around 8 to 10 years probably. I mean, the bottom line is when you look back over that body of work, you're able to say, okay, you know what? If you were to look back over Joe Burrow's career, if something would have happened to him and he decided he wasn't going to play football again, or the league or whoever decided he wasn't going to play football again, we'd have been talking about, yeah, he might have been, could have been the greatest, this, that, whatever the case may be. But that's why I say it's just, and then he might wind up just like that joker did that was in L.A. a few years ago, who they traded to get Matt Stafford. Everybody was talking about him, about how great he was going to be. Goff, thank you. Jared Goff. Oh, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He's this, he's that, yada, yada, yada. That joker went to boo-boo overnight. I mean, one day he was this, and the next day from, as we say in the South, sugar to shoe shine, if you know what I'm saying. He fell like that. And that's what I'm saying. I think if Russell Wilson laid down his cleats today, he ain't got nothing to prove to me. Because I remember him as being a bad man. I mean, he was at one time anyway, for his career, he was the top 10 quarterback in the league for most of his career. If he'd been in the league 8 years, I know for at least 5 years he'd been in the top 10 as far as quarterbacks are concerned. I don't know how long he's been in it, but I think the majority of his time in the league, he's been a top tier quarterback.
Yeah, Coach, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I think that he is an awesome quarterback, but for the last few years, he hasn't performed up to the caliber that we've seen him perform. And so now he said he was unhappy in Seattle. Now he's moving to a team that is supposedly has more tools and is more prepared to win. So here, for me, given what you've been talking about, you have a lot to prove now that they've given you what you've asked for. Not taken away from any of his years in the past that they've done well. The both can exist.
I hear you. I agree with what you're saying. Ray said he's only had one losing season. And yeah, Brad, I know that's another stat. I don't like to use a lot of these kind of stats because, you know, losing season, there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there just don't have any defense. And, you know, so that's why they have losing seasons. And again, that shouldn't really be on me because our defense can't stop nobody. You know, when I'm losing games 35 to 38 or something like that, I mean, that ain't on me. I mean, it's on me, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it should be. So like I said, that's why. Ms. Peavy said, well, he proposed again to Sierra and asked more babies. How about he hangs up his cleats and works on it. Okay, well, maybe so. Maybe so. You know what? That might be true, Miss P. I mean, that's why supposedly Tom Brady hung up his cleats. You know, they say that Giselle been on him for a long time about shutting that thing down. So Jason seemed to think that if San Francisco approaches him, he and I talked earlier today that Brady might come back for one last season in San Francisco. I don't believe he's coming back. I'll tell everybody. I'm telling everybody right. I'm telling the world. Ain't no way Tom Brady come back. That's my opinion. I don't believe he come back at all.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think so either.
So anyway, let's see here. Anyway, let's move on a little bit and talk about some other topics before we get hung up on that. Franchise tags out today. I think the franchise tag. This was very interesting to me because I had no idea that tight end was such a coveted position in the NFL. They listed 6 franchise tags that were out today. 3 of them go to tight ends. 3 of the 6 for a tight end. And some of these tight ends, I mean, I didn't even know the Dolphins had a tight end. But then I thought about when you have a terrible quarterback, normally you have a tight end, so you got somebody he can dump the ball off to when he can't get the ball downfield to anybody else. So when you look at it that way, the Browns got a tight end because they got a terrible quarterback. So they franchised their tight end. The Cowboys, they don't have a terrible quarterback, but they still got terrible wide receivers, in my opinion. Matter of fact, they're talking about letting one of them go, I heard today. So if you look down the list, it's the Chiefs have offensive tackle Orlando Brown. The Dolphins, tight end Mike, last name Gesicki. I guess that's Gesicki. The Browns have tight end David Njoku. The Bengals have a safety, Jesse Bates. The Cowboys have tight end Dalton Schultz. And the Packers have a wide receiver Devontae Adams. Everybody knew Devontae Adams was going to get that franchise tag. And I don't think it's right. And I feel sorry for him. But everybody knew that he was pretty much going to get it. So anybody surprised about that? Anybody surprised to see so many tight ends getting franchise tags? I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen this many tight ends getting franchise tag like that. And normally, you know, there are about 6 positions in football that they say are must-have positions. Oh, you say Chris Godwin got the – oh, did he really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Chris Godwin. Travis said Chris Godwin got the tag from the Bucks. That's interesting. But and that's what I was about to say. There are about 6 must-have positions, either 5 or 6. I know one of them is obviously the quarterback. You got to have the tackle, the blindside tackle. That's why Orlando Brown got the franchise tag. You got to have a game-breaking wide receiver. That's why Devontae Adams got the franchise tag. Normally, it's a lockdown corner. You got to have a lockdown corner. And the 5th position is you got to have a pass rusher. So those are, they say, the 5 must-have positions in today's game. They say nothing about a running back. A lot of people say you can do it without a running back and whatnot. But if you have those 5 positions, like I just said, those are the 5 positions that you must have if you're going to have a good football team, a championship caliber football team. What do you think about that, Travis?
Yeah, I agree. I think for the most part, those are kind of the basic 5 that you need. I was surprised as you were with how many tight ends that got franchise tagged. The franchise tag for a tight end is $10.9 million.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money for a tight end.
It is.
Some of those tight ends, right? David Njoku, Mike Gesicki, don't do it for me. You know, they're just everyday guys.
Schultz is okay, but he ain't that.
He's more. I'd say he's the worst out of the 3 between Gesicki and Njoku. So I was surprised with how many tight ends that got franchise tagged. I am surprised at how many teams don't use the franchise tag. I was just looking at a stat. Only about a quarter of the teams use the franchise tag.
Yeah.
So
I know. I was surprised at that too.
I was surprised that there were a lot of teams that didn't use a franchise tag
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Maybe just because this year they didn't have a lot of players that were coming up for to get re-signed. But I would think that most teams, especially for the year that they just announced the cap is going up to over $200 million, like if I was a team, I'd probably want to franchise tag somebody every single year. Especially if it's someone that I want to keep on my team, I would use the franchise tag.
Yeah, you would think. I would think so too. And I was thinking that everybody was going to have at least one. Have a franchise tag. And but there were a lot of teams, like I said, who didn't even do it. Like I said, the last report I saw were the 6 that I announced. And you said, of course, Chris Godwin got tagged, which I think is interesting, seeing as how he was injured most of the year. And but in any event, they did that. Miss Peeps said, I know Amari Cooper is getting old, but if you look at Dak's stats, win versus losses ain't QB ready. He needs Amari, which I don't agree with that, Miss Peavy.
I don't either.
As when Amari is on the field, he wins more games. Yeah, he might win more games because he's there. I don't like Amari Cooper as a one. I don't know that he is a one, but I don't think he is a one. Miss Peavy. I think that they need to go get a better receiver who can create a whole lot more separation and be a whole lot more explosive and game breaking than Amari Cooper. That's just my opinion. Jay says, why you franchise tag somebody, you basically paying him damn near top 5 money for a guy that probably is in top 5. I can't read all his comment in the top 5. But my thing is this, Jason, and I'm not saying that you should pay him the money. That's why they paid Devontae Adams. I can understand paying Devontae Adams. I can understand paying Big Zeus out there, Orlando Brown. I can understand paying him. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was blindside.
I was really pissed about that.
Why?
Because I wanted them to not franchise tag him because the Bengals were going to pay him to be the new. I
got you. Yeah, but
for me personally, I didn't want them to franchise tag him because the Bengals were going to go pay that man a boatload of money to come
and I think that's why. And they did the right thing. They did the right thing by franchise tagging him so he couldn't get away. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's why he should use it. Franchise tagging a tight end. I mean, you must really like and really have. A tight end is a dying position in the NFL, and that's one of the reasons why I was surprised to see so many of them even get done. I mean, just to have 6 of them, I think is crazy, but it is what it is. So
the Bengals, we franchise tagged a player. We franchise tagged Jesse Bates, who's a safety that we drafted.
Yeah.
Top end safety, one of the best in his position, and a lot of times, I think what happens too is teams they want to get a long-term deal done, right? They want to keep the player, and maybe there's just not enough time to do that, so they put the franchise tag, so that gives them an extra year to see if they can work out a long-term deal. So then the player can still get his long-term deal, but then the team can still get their player.
Yeah, no, Jason, I hear what you're saying. And what I'm saying to you is Jason said that's his point. We were asking why people don't use it more. I thought that people have more coveted players. That's what I was going at. Like right now, Matt's talking about Kelsey and Kettle and those kind of guys, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I understand that. But first of all, you can't put Kelsey and Kettle and these guys even in the same conversation as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Kelsey and Kettle are on a whole nother level than Schultz and these guys we talking about. And then Joku and those guys, in my opinion. I think they way beyond that. But my whole thing is that I felt like, Jason, there might be some guys out there who are more coveted by teams and whatnot who they don't want to let get away, like Devontae Adams, like Zeus, and more of those caliber players, the top 5, like I was talking about, pass rushers, blindside tackles, QBs, stuff like that.
Cornerbacks.
Yeah, those guys, and not damn tight ends and safety. Just like that safety you talking about, Travis. Only way I franchise tag his ass is if he's a Ed Reed or somebody who I know is going to be a damn Hall of Fame or something one day. I wouldn't franchise tag that cat like Jason talking about. I mean, if the chance of him leaving, I think are slim to none. And even if he did leave, I could probably get somebody decent in there to replace him. And I ain't going to franchise tag him because, like I said, I think I can get by paying him under what I'm going to have to pay him with a franchise tag. Or if not him, somebody else. Oh, my God. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts ain't no tight end, number one. Matt Cowlout. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's what my phone calls you, Matthew Cowlout. Matt Kalute. I'm just telling you, if he gets franchised as a doggone wide receiver, a tight end, I'm going to have a fit because that man ain't no damn tight end.
And that's something that players try and fight against. Because I remember there was I couldn't remember the player's name, but I remember he was a defensive player, and he got franchise tagged, and they tagged him as a linebacker instead
I remember
of a defensive end.
Yeah,
which he ended up making like $5 or $6 million less.
Yep,
because of they have a pay structure for each position that's set by the NFL. And they stuck him at linebacker, even though he was in a 4-3 defense. He was on the end, but for whatever reason, the NFL was classifying as a linebacker.
And you know what they've done since then? They've created a position called edge, when you are edge rusher, and so they give you that instead of making you a linebacker or whatever. They call it edge now. So that's why they're kind of renaming some of these positions for that reason, so you can be put in the right category. Right. So that you don't have to be classified as a linebacker or whatever, or necessarily a defensive lineman. You are a position of your own now called edge because you are an edge rusher.
Right.
So that's your primary responsibility. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers supposedly has gotten a deal 4 years for $200 million. So $50 million a year for the next 4 years. Everybody stand on your head, like my mom used to say. Stand on your head if you think that's a good idea or you agree with that. Because you ain't going to see me stand on my head. And I love Aaron Rodgers. First of all, I don't think Aaron Rodgers has 4 more good years in him. Do I think he has 4 more years? Can he play for 4 more years? He can play him like Eli. I mean, like Eli played his last 4 years. Or like Peyton played his last 4 years. Or like Matt Ryan playing his last 4 years or whatever. But can he play him like Aaron Rodgers 2-time or 3-time MVP or whatever? Or back-to-back MVP or what? Can he play him like that? Hell no. And not in my opinion. And I'm not giving him that kind of money for that. So I would not pay him that. I don't know about y'all. I would not pay him that. Y'all can tell me what you think about that, Matt. I don't have that kind of faith in him to be that good for that much longer. I just don't. Travis, what you think?
Yeah, I was surprised when I read it. I was on the show last year. I remember we talked about at the beginning of the season, and we talked about where was Aaron Rodgers going to go. I didn't think he was going to come back to Green Bay. Now, they paid him a boatload of money. I think that's the reason why he took it, because he wasn't going to get it anywhere else. I think the biggest thing that helped him actually and to get this deal done is the salary cap went up about an extra $10 million of what they thought it was going to. So this gave Green Bay the ability to do this. But this is you're rolling the dice. And with what they did with Devontae Adams, you're rolling the dice. You're going to win a Super Bowl probably within the next 2 years, or they're going to have to just seriously just basically start over from scratch.
Well, I think part of it is is I hope that Aaron Rodgers might do the same thing that Tom Brady supposedly has done for the last several years, which is, giving some of his money away in order for them to get some better players in there. So you in essence make Aaron Rodgers assistant GM, because now he gets to say, hey, bring me a left tackle in here, and I'll cut my salary by $5 million to get him in here.
Right.
And I don't need no more money. I mean, I can only spend so much of this money before I die anyway. So
I agree with you, and I would think that if you were a quarterback that wanted to win a Super Bowl and you're this close away, I don't know why other players don't do that, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem like that type of person that's going to be doing that, right? He seems like the guy that's, give me my money now, I want my money. But I'm surprised that most people don't do that. Quarterbacks, at least. That's the only position that I would say give up a little bit to get better team.
Miss Peavy said Matt Ryan needs to do that, but he won't. Miss Carey, you back in the house?
I'm so sorry. I go to Hawaii for 1 week.
You sound good now, though. Boy, you sound like you right next to me, Miss Carey. I feel like I am Chris Paul tonight. I got to see your whole face. I feel like you right next to me. Wow, I feel good. I see why Chris goes out there now and plays like he does and play with that MVP caliber. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I feel good. Go ahead and take your drink, Miss Carey. Take your drink. Anyway, Miss Peavy talking about Matt Ryan. I know that's down your lane right there. She said Matt Ryan need to give up some of that money and get him some players in there, but Matt ain't with that. Matt said he got kids.
And he's done that. I think he's restructured year and year again. That's why we're where we are.
Well, I hope not. I hope he hadn't restructured and y'all are where you are, because y'all in the boo-boo house. And for him to be restructured and all that other stuff, y'all in boo-booville.
You're absolutely right, man. He's already done it 2 or 3 times, and that's part of the reason why, because they kept pushing money back and back and back. And that's the reason why they have no money now, is because they have to pay him now.
We kept paying the minimum payment, and eventually that shit comes to bite you.
Wow. Well, they're the Falcons. Let's put it that way. Anyway, speaking of the Falcons, somebody help me out with Calvin Ridley. I missed this. I missed the boat on this right here, and I need y'all to help me because I don't get it. Because I for the longest time, ever since they got Ridley, been like, Ridley is the number one on this team. Julio ain't no damn number one. Ridley is the number one. I mean, it was clear to see that Ridley was better than Julio to anybody who wanted to see that. I know Miss Hood got a thing for Julio, and I know she and Julio do that thing that Miss Carey and Chris do. I know all that. But what I'm trying to say is, I thought that Ridley was going to be like the new dude. And then first it was the whole, he had to sit out. Nobody knew why he was sitting out, didn't know what was going on. Then we found out it was mental issues that he was having. And now it is. Now they found out he been betting on football. I mean, Miss Carey, talk to me. I mean, give me some therapy. I mean, I thought Ridley was going to be y'all's guy.
I mean, Julio Jones thought Ridley was going to be our guy.
Yeah, everybody did.
Right? I don't understand it, Coach. I mean, he bet $1,500 and lost $11 million. So if you, I'm over the Roll Tide wide receivers. Those Bama, Alabama wide receivers don't need to come back to me.
No. You sticking it in the jugular right now. That's hard right there. I just had a thing of all the Alabama wide receivers going in my head. I ain't too crazy about any of them either, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. And they said, I mean, I've obviously never been in a locker room, but they say that it's all over the place in there. You cannot bet. You're not allowed to bet. Don't bet. I mean, if you took a chance, he got plenty of cousins, I'm sure, that he could have handed some money to.
Amen. Thank you.
This for me. and I
Thank
got
you
for half of it. But I mean, if you're gonna be that silly, then you risk the biscuit.
Let me just real quick say something about this. Now I'm gonna let it go. Everybody's making, I saw a lot of people today making I don't know why it was only 1,500 and now they look like they're making a big deal out of a bunch of nothing. And I guarantee there's guys out there who are, listen, this is the thing about it. Like Miss Carey just very eloquently said, they have it all over everywhere in the NFL, in locker rooms, in restrooms, bathroom, whatever. Anywhere players go, they have it posted that you are not allowed to bet on the game. I'm talking about you can't bet $5. You can't bet anything because it threatens the sanctity of the sport. Because he was at the end of the day, I was telling somebody this today. These guys in the NFL know each other. A lot of them played against each other in college. A lot of them played with each other in college. So all it takes is for me to call Joe Dirt that plays for another NFL team, say, Joe Dirt, listen, I know you're gonna be locked up on Julio. Let his sorry ass score a couple times. I'm picking them to win tonight, and let him score a couple times. Look, I'm gonna get $5 million. I'm betting, and my take gonna be $5 million. I'll slide you $1 million. Let his ass score a couple times. Blah 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 blah. And then they start doing that. You like, damn, what happened to our lockdown corner? Julio took his ass to school tonight and all this. And then you have no idea when that's happening and not happening in the NFL. That's why I'm telling you right now, they're saying that he is on suspension. And they're saying it is, one of these untimed suspensions. And they're not coming out saying how long it's going to be. They're saying right now, it's for the season, but I don't know if it's going to stay the season. So at the end of the day, it might be longer than the season. And I can guarantee you, there's probably several teams who've already said he can't come play here.
Right.
They're going to just take him out. Think about Pete Rose in baseball. Same thing happened in baseball. That man been doggone crying and everything. 40-something years, he can't get in the Hall of Fame. Some say the best pure baseball player to ever play the game, and he can't get in the Hall of Fame because he bet on baseball. And I mean, it's that kind of thing. So please understand that, when you ask about if you think it's too harsh. Let's see what Travis said. What about the argument he wasn't with the team in October and November and didn't have any? It don't matter. Don't matter because again. You can argue that, but again, that doesn't mean he still doesn't know people and everything else because that's why they say you can't bet on it, period. I mean, in any way, shape, or form, because there's too many circumstances that can be around that, and that you could be doing that through other players and whatnot. So
and that's not any different for you or I. I mean, you cross the line one time and your integrity is called into question for everything in the past. And so
there you go.
It's not any different for Calvin Ridley. You see that even though they said we caught him during this period of time, they're showing plays of him on the field where he should have run into the end zone for a touchdown. And it looks like he kind of went toward the center of the field and got tackled. And so people are calling that into question. It looks like he was shaving points or whatever he was doing. It looks that way. And so his reputation is being called in question. And that's what they don't want to happen to the Shield. And so you start affecting their bottom line and you're out the door.
Miss Carey done put the Shield up in there. Go on, Miss Carey.
Yeah,
Travis said put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I ain't mad about it. I would probably put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame if it were up to me. But that's just one vote. But I mean, as a lot of people say, they ain't never gonna vote. Just like they said, they ain't gonna never vote for Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds. I mean, it is what it is, dude. It is what it is. Matthew Kalut says the policy doesn't distinguish if you're on the active or inactive roster. For those of you guys who saying, well, he was hurt and this and that, don't nobody care about that. They ain't got nothing to do with that. What's going on, Rick Rando? But anyway. Like I said, So really might be gone for a little minute. So bless his heart. But I don't know if he'll be another one. I don't know if he really gets back in there or not.
Right.
It'll be very interesting to see. Because he might be trade bait, I mean, somebody might be able to try to pawn him off on somebody and see if he can do something like that. But I would be.
He might be the next Antonio Brown, right? He gets the label slapped on him.
There you go.
Gets pushed around a couple times and then ends up coming back and may be a winner. But Antonio Brown, his name is mud. Like nobody thinks this
No
guy
doubt
is sane at this point.
I agree. Good call to him, Ms. Carey. I could see that. And I didn't realize he had some issues like that. And I showed him today, and every picture I Googled of him, he was looking like they're going crackhead. You know how they do you when you're in trouble like that, and they find all them kind of pictures. But I was like, dang, I didn't know he like this. He looked all crazy. So anyway, Matt said they get some relief for the Falcons. $11 million cap relief for the Falcons. Call a spade. I hear you, Miss Peavy. I got a lot of pushback on Facebook when I said the NFL is fixed. Miss Peavy, stop that. Everybody knows the NBA is what's fixed. The NBA, they got a chip in the basketball, and they got a chip in the rim. And the commissioner of basketball sits there, and all he does is push it and make magnets like this where the ball goes away, or he makes it like this.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Everybody knows NBA is fixed. Then Joe was shooting the ball. Look at Steph Curry shooting that ball. He just be throwing it up there like that, and that ball go in the hole. Everybody know the commissioner guy in that thing here with them chips. That's what that's all about. Just so you know that Miss Peavy said they all fixed. say the mafia run in Vegas and they got it all fixed, Miss Peavy. Let's talk about Kyler Murray. What's going on with Kyler Murray? Running around here talking about he needs a bag. Everybody stand on your head. If you think Kyler Murray run like this, need a bag. I mean, I'm not giving him a bag. I mean, I know they said that he's like a year early even to ask for a bag right now. But even when that year comes, I'm not giving him a bag. That's just me. I mean, I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan. And so I'm not giving Miss Carey, would you ever give Kyler Murray a bag?
No, I mean, not yet. He certainly hasn't proven himself worthy of a bag from my perspective. You know how the NFL is. They're so ready to anoint, like you said, they were anointing Lincoln Riley. So anything that came out of Lincoln Riley was going to be like all of a sudden magical. Look at Kyler Murray. Look at Baker Mayfield. At this point, I don't trust Curtis Mayfield or Teddy Riley. So both Baker and Lincoln and Kyler Murray can not yet. You ain't ready.
I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of I damn sure ain't a fan of Baker Mayfield. And I will admit, I'll be the first to admit that, Kyler Murray has his way, has his time. Big Pop in the building. Bring your ball. There he is. That's
because I
what's going on, Carey?
Teddy Riley.
Oh, hey, he got on here because he gonna give Kyler the bag. That's what he came on here to tell us. Come on, Papa.
Look, you got to pay that man. Come on, man. We're not going to sit here and act like they didn't fire the black coach and Josh Rosen after one season, brought Kyler in, and then started balling. Like, it ain't his fault he ain't have Hopkins at the end of the season. It ain't his fault that Cliff Kingsbury's a terrible head coach. Pay that man, because before that man came through, y'all was a joke.
I can't even believe his doggone agent asking for a bag.
Look, it's that same thing. I'm going to tell you what it's like, Coach, because this is why you're getting short-sighted. It's like, in a better situation, though, the Garoppolo deal. You pay him now, when all these jokers start making way more than what Kyler Murray's making, he's still in his deal. So now you got him on a discount, because you got to think now, all these young rookie quarterbacks, in 2-3 years, they contract up. And you think Burrow ain't going to get the bag? Herbert ain't going to get the bag?
I am so happy you brought that up, because let me tell you something. You pay him now, and you got him on that deal. And when everybody start making that big money, his ass gonna say he want out of that deal and want the money they get. And his ass he'll be sitting out on your ass then to get that money.
Oh, but by then you can have another deal in place. You can have something else back up now. You ain't got nothing for him right now. You better pay that, man.
At the end of the day, man, these jokers ain't gonna abide by no damn deal. I mean, they're always looking for the next one. I mean, if one guy, like let Rodgers run around, you know what Aaron Rodgers doing right now? Shh. They ask him, how much you got paid? He said, shh.
Yep.
He don't want anybody to know. Because if he let everybody find out his ass making $50 a year for damn the next 4 years, he know good and well that damn quarterback market finna explode. I mean, it's gonna be damn crazy because the next joke out there may even be Kyler Murray. Be like, okay, if they give him 50, I ought to be getting 51. You know, I'm starting at 51. I mean, that's crazy.
This hit it on the head though. That's the real thing too.
That man ain't got a damn thing to deserve no bag right now. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Miss Peavy said, just tell him he should have went and played baseball if he wanted a bag.
That's what I'm saying. Kyler got that leverage though. That's why you got to pay him because you don't. He'll just go play baseball.
Guys, I'm gonna tell y'all why Jason really got on here because we about to talk about the NFL Combine, and that's really Jason's highlight every year, as he is really into the NFL Combine, and so that's why he tuned in and he said he wanted to get in on this conversation. First of all, y'all know the Goodsons are friends of this show, and they're always on the show. I tried to get Mo to get on here tonight, but I got to him too late. Their son, Tyler Goodson, and I'm just going to read you off some of what he did. He weighed in at 197 pounds, at 5'9" is his height. He ran a 4.42 40. He had a vertical of 36.5 inches, and he had a broad jump of 123 inches. Now, here's the problem. I won't say necessarily the problem. I think he chose not to do the short shuttle, you know, all the little quick stuff. I just know they did not have scores for him. So whether that means he scratched or whether that means he chose not to do them, and 9 times out of 10, they choose not to do them. They didn't have scores for him in those areas. So Travis read some of the comments that they had about him from ESPN and NFL and all that stuff, you know, saying that he was okay, but, you know, he was high in these areas, low in these areas. Some of them had to do with his stature. I know that he ran a 4.42, which sounds very good. Unfortunately, he was like 9th out of all running backs, and I was shocked. When I heard they had all those running backs that ran 4.3, I mean, that was very impressive to me. That same thing I saw right there. They had those running backs that ran doggone 4.3. It was a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them. So I know that's what I'm saying. Guys who are a lot bigger than him and whatnot, who are even running faster than him. They had a kid from Georgia, last name White. That joker was a monster. I mean, he had a great combine. So it's tough. Jordan Davis, another guy from Georgia. How about a 340-pound guy ran a 4.78 40?
Yep.
4.78 40. Listen to me. I need everybody to really listen to what I'm telling you. This is why you'll need to have your ass on the football field unless you know what the hell you're doing. When you got a grown-ass man who is doggone 340 pounds running a 4.78 40 and that big body moving towards you, understand now this is a man that they pay to put hurt on people. I mean, this is a man being paid millions of dollars, and his livelihood, how he's going to feed his family, is based on him destroying people. And not only that, they got another man that they pay $1 million that they coach to teach him how to come over there and hurt you in various ways when he gets there. I mean, at the end of the day, that is why this is crazy. That man, 340 pounds, is actually 341, moving at a 4.78 40. I mean, that's crazy to me. I mean, that's insane. And trust me, that joke about to get paid.
Yeah.
He about to get paid. He might be the first overall pick, thanks to Aaron Donald. He might be the first overall pick when it come time for this draft. I mean, that's huge right there. So, Jason, go ahead. I'm gonna let you get your licks in about the draft real quick. I know how important it is to you.
Oh, the draft being important to me? Yes. It's so important to me. Look, man, why are we doing this, man? Why every year we do this combine and we're going to have these players out here with their underwear, shirts off, poking and prodding them, asking if their mama was a hoe, what you do when your daddy wasn't there. You got all this game tape of these guys, but that ain't enough. You got to see him in person and then just pick with them and then do it. What are we doing this for, man? Like, only people that should show up at combines are the guys that is like, I may not get drafted this year, so I'm going to show up so I can maybe run a fast time and maybe get some people to look at me, or I maybe look more athletic than my tape shows. If you're anything above that, why are you here? Because one, you got a pro day. Two, at the end of the day, you got hours of tape that they can scroll through. And then I'll be real with you. As a black man, it just don't feel right with me to have people with pointers pointing at these guys' stomachs and having them arms out in their hands and all this stuff. Like, it just doesn't feel right to me. It feels like some real old school stuff that we don't want to talk about. And it's like, but it ain't worth nothing. How many jokers we done seen run 4.2? Travis No, John Ross. What John Ross doing? That 4.2 ain't doing nothing on the field for him right now.
He working at Walmart.
It bothers me so much, and I see it. And the thing is now it's become such a spectacle. ESPN be showing all the coverage, and it's all on TV. And and I get it. It's some money to be made off of it. I just hate the way it's used because it feels like that's what it's only there for, to make money off these people while they still can get their last shot before they have to pay these guys.
Jason just said a second ago, guys, half of these guys go to the combine and boo-boo down the leg and be running crazy, sorry-ass times and just having a bunk-ass, combine performance. They go back and do their pro day. And then when they go to their pro day and they're sitting up at Iowa and the coaches massaging them and they got their trainers out there and their mama out there and their girlfriend's allowed to come watch them, and they knock it out the box. So to me, it's not even a need for a combine. What the combine does is it gives them some cushion where if you do well at the combine, now you don't have to do your pro day. So, I mean, in a way, it's kind of a saver for some of them. But for some of them, it's not, like Jason just said. Jason and I talked about this earlier. He had a great idea. He said, give me all the guys who are borderline out there and let them come. Because maybe they'll knock it out the box. It will be even better for the combine. It will be even more of a spectacle for people to watch if you say, hey, we're going to take some of these other guys. And you be like, damn, did you see that dude? Now that dude's going to be a millionaire because of the damn combine. Because the world never would have known about that cat. And he got a chance and he went out there and he knocked it out the box. Because there's going to be some people like that. There's going to be some people like that if you would do it that way, if you would have it that way each year. So I think that would be a good way to do it. But I'm not crazy about the combine the way it is now. I didn't watch hardly any of it. I tried to watch when I knew that Tyler was going to be on there, or when I knew that some kid that I've trained or coached or whatever was going to be on there. Connor Hayward. I watched when Connor Hayward he's in the draft this year, and he had a very good day from what I saw. So he actually went in as a tight end, and he's one of these Swiss Army knives where he can play that, or he can go out and play wide receiver, he can play fullback in the backfield, he can throw the ball, he can play quarterback, he can do all that. So he'll get drafted somewhere. What's that, Miss Carey?
He looked kind of small against his counterpart. So
well, he did because, like I said, baby, he's been like a running back. he started for Michigan State at running back for 2 years. I mean, was the guy in the backfield next to the quarterback running back. So like I said, I'm a running back with no fullback, and he did very well. So like I said, he can do a lot of different things, and I think he'll get drafted. I really do. I think somebody will draft him because he's so versatile, and you need somebody like that. You can do a lot of things with a guy like that. So
and he has the pedigree.
Yeah, he has pedigree. His brother, of course, plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then his dad played for 8 different teams. I think it was 11 different teams in the NFL. So he definitely has the pedigree. So and we'll wish him very good luck. So
I have a question because I watched a couple minutes of it, I guess, and I do think that overall, like these players are getting leaner, stronger, and faster.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for the running quarterback? Like, I think from my perspective, it looked like when the running quarterback was the new thing, defenses didn't know how to handle it. But now that we're
full circle, it's gonna go full circle where you'll be back to now when you get all them lean guys out there on defense. Now when you bring back that big offensive line and them big running backs and them little guys can't tackle them.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's going full circle. And it'll be right back where it was. Somebody's going to say, you know what? Since now they got all these look lean, fast running, high jumping, 360-degree basketball. Now that they got all them jokers over there, now it's time to go back to bringing the Hogs like they did Washington Redskins. Put that big white boy back there, John Riggins back there in the backfield running behind them. And let's get 4 yards every play and run this clock down and then finally score. And when we score, they don't have any time to score because we ran the clock down just by running the ball. And the sport will just go full circle at that time. That's why you really want to try to keep that happy marriage of having a little bit of both, where, you got some ground and pound, but then you also got some and same thing on defense. You got to be able to stop the run and the pass. You can't just say, hey, we got to play for the pass now. But when you do have a running quarterback, it still messes you up when you got all those guys out there playing for the pass.
See, I'm a spin it. I think it's going to shift the opposite way. I think because the league now has been so catered to offense, the passing game is so dominant. And I mean, look at it. We can see it. Quarterbacks are walking in the NFL throwing for 5,000 yards. Remember, 5,000 yards was like, oh my God, someone threw for that? Now it's jokers coming off the street throwing for 47, almost 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the offense is going to start getting bigger. I think it's actually going to just become more of a situation where the skill positions are going to get basically faster, better, and more active. I think in between your hash marks, it's going to stay the same. I don't think any running back is going to come into like now. Again, we talked about it too, Coach. Like Derrick Henry, how great is Derrick Henry in this era when every linebacker is 230 and he 250? Where if you would have gone to the 80s, you got 250 linebackers that can hit them and beat them up a little bit more.
Right.
I don't think any team is going to sacrifice the ability to have speed to get bigger, because even we see it, the SEC, these big guys got speed. So if you're on an offense and you start getting bigger guys that are stronger, if they not fast and can't move their feet, because you talk about all the time, the Big Ten, they ain't fast and can't move their feet, it's a wrap. I mean, so I think it's actually going to slim down some of these offensive linemen, and they're going to get more active and more athletic than anything, because they got to compete with these guys that are running 4.6s that are 300 pounds.
Well, I can tell you that there's a catchphrase that they've been using for years now: athletes at all positions. To having that big lineman who this is all he can do, them days over. They don't want that. They don't want that. You saw Myles Garrett out there, damn, winding the ball up and slam dunking it. I mean, grown ass man out there about to kill somebody on that basketball court. I mean, that's what they want at every position. They want a Myles Garrett at every position, regardless of the position. So, and I can understand that. Miss Carey, I'm gonna give you a last word. I'm gonna give Jason last word, I'm gonna have a last word. We're gonna get out of here.
I'm hoping that 11 mil gives Atlanta the position to be or to bring somebody in at wide receiver so that we can draft that UGA dude that we were just talking about, Jordan Davis.
No, you don't get Jordan Davis, but I'm gonna tell you this though. Why don't you get Amari Cooper since you think he's so damn good? That's what you were talking about earlier. Get Amari Cooper his ass in here for your receiver. That's what you said. You said Dak needs him. Dak needs Amari Cooper. No, Dak don't need Amari Cooper. Sound like you need Amari Cooper.
No, you didn't hear that from me.
Why not?
You ain't hear that from me, sir. Don't lie.
Jason, what you got?
My last word is I want to speak about first-round draft picks. First-round draft picks are the most overrated thing in football. We just saw from the Rams Super Bowl, you can get rid of first-round draft picks and still put together a good team. The point is, can you draft players? Period. So if you can mortgage a first-round pick because other teams find them so valuable, you can mortgage your first-round pick for a proven player that you know can work in your system. Do it tomorrow. I say this because all these teams sitting around being like, oh, I don't want to give up X, Y, and Z for a franchise starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. You've lost your damn mind. Give up the first-round picks. Get your franchise quarterback because a franchise quarterback can win games for you, period.
All right, real quick, I'm going to say this because Miss Peavy just reminded me. And this is unusual for me because y'all know I'm a football guy. Oh. But I'm gonna say goodbye and farewell to Mike Krzyzewski. Coach K had his last go round with the Tar Heels the other night. I didn't realize Miss Peavy said they lost, and so I'm a Dookie. Everybody knows I'm a Dookie. And Mike Krzyzewski to me has been a good guy as far as basketball is concerned. I know somebody gonna dig up some dirt and say that his next door neighbor was a black guy and he didn't like him and all this other kind of stuff. I listen. He is, to me, has been a man that's been very good for his sport. You know, hadn't been a bunch of controversy and all that kind of stuff about him. I've always respected him. You know, his work ethic. I've liked the way his teams play and things of that nature. So therefore, I'm gonna stick up for Coach K. I know Miss Peavy, y'all beat him in over there in Durham the other night, and I know all the Tar Heels are celebrating that. I know you celebrating that. I'm gonna let you have your day, but I'm gonna say, job well done, Coach K, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame, sir. I know you're already in several Hall of Fames anyway. Miss K, I was gonna say something about you. I ain't gonna lie, cause I ain't gonna lie to you. You looking like a doggone a bag of Cheerios tonight, baby.
It's that Hawaii. It's that Hawaii sun.
I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I see why Chris Paul crazy about you, girl.
What kind of old player stuff is that? Some bag of Cheerios. What kind of old player shit is that?
And Coach, I don't think you're Dookie. I don't think you're Dookie at all.
I'm a Dookie, baby. I'm a Dookie. I'm telling you that right now. I'm a Dookie. He's a Dookie. She's a Dookie. We're a Dookie. Would you like to be a Dookie too?
No, actually, no.
Miss
Peavy said you got that glow, Carrie. You had that Bruce Leroy.
I'm trying to tell you. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is tonight, Miss Carrie. You got it.
It's Hawaii.
You got
it. It's Hawaii. That's all.
Facts.
What'd you say when you wake up this morning? Did you say, good morning, gorgeous?
Well, thank everybody watching for Straight from the Hip, guys. We'll see you all next week.
All right, man. We'll see y'all. Good night. Bye. Good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the Hip.
All right, Jay, man.